Hello, welcome to this episode of Martial Truth Podcast, Martial Arts Associations. Before we get on to that, once again, please click that like, share, subscribe button. Consider becoming a monthly member. There's products you can purchase that flashes along the bottom of this video. I also wanted to mention those interested in purchasing these patches that I've been providing to the Ishinru community for, it's got to be at least 25 years. Nice Megami patch, or Mizugami, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't look like the cartoon as much, more like the original one, all right, in terms of its the way it's been drawn. So these are available. If you're interested, contact me directly. I do offer discounts when you buy in bulk, all right? And I was selling them on eBay. I'm closing my eBay store. eBay's gotten out of control with fees and everything else. It's just not worth it. And I don't sell that many of them. It's not like, it's changing my lifestyle, the patches. I did them all those years ago to help pay for the IWK website. So if anybody's interested in those, reach out and I'll help get you some of those. All right. So let's talk about martial arts associations. The association I've been in the longest is the Ishinru World Karate Association, right? The Ishinru Kokusai Karate Do Renmei, if you want to go with the Japanese or Okinawan pronunciation, okay? It's headed by Kichiro Shimabuku Sensei, the headmaster of Ishinru, the son of the founder, Tatsuo Shimabuku. I joined that back in 1979, and I've been in that association the whole time. In terms of Ishinru Karate. I also am a lifetime member of the UIKA, but, have the certificate up in a loft here, but I don't really do anything with the UIKA, so in terms of that, but I am a lifetime member of the IWKA. I really like the IWKA's approach to associations. It's a lifetime membership. So my Ishinru friends, if any of you are interested, feel free to reach out to me. I help many people come in the association. All right. It's a lifetime membership. You pay it once, you get a nice certificate from Master Shimabuku that you're a member of the association. The only other time you'll be sending money to Okinawa is if you get promoted to a level of black belt and you decide to send to Okinawa to get your black belt certificate from Master Shimabuku. Okay. And again, I've been in the association since 79. The prices haven't really gone up that much. I think Shodan's $100. The lifetime membership, I think, is $35 or $40. Some dojo charge a little more, and that's fine. I mean, the dojos have to make a little bit of money. But what's great is you pay it once and that's it. It's not a yearly fee. So I love that about the association. The other thing I love about the association is since 1979, so let's say 83 from when I became a black belt and I started sending memberships myself. Never got a letter, never got a phone call from Master Shimabuku saying to me, hey, you haven't sent memberships in a while. Hey, you haven't sent for any black belt certificates. What's going on? Never, okay? Some years I send a lot of memberships. Some years I don't send any memberships, depending on what the story is. And he's never concerned with that. And that's what I like. And what I like is I don't have to chase people for money every year. It's a lifetime membership. That's it. Okay. We average probably gaining around 1,000 members a year. Around 1,000 members a year, maybe a little less, maybe between 500 and 1,000 new members a year. All right. We're almost up to 50,000 members. The association's been around since the 60s. Originally the American Okinawan Karate Association, then it became the Ishinru World Karate Association. So that's why I like that association. I like the way that association is set up. There's no incentive in terms of really making money, right? Master Shimabuku does very well for himself. He owns a lot of real estate. So if you join the association, great. If you join, he doesn't really care. But that's my favorite association because it's a lifetime membership. And like I said, the next time you send money is when you make black belt. All right. So keep that in mind. Those of you that are in that association, the fees are on the IWK website at ishinrukarate.com. All right. So that's an example to me of a really good association. But let's be honest. I've been a member of a bunch of different associations. I do all these different martial arts. All right. So, Mariyoshi Kobudo, I originally started with the association run by Nishiuchi Sensei. Had a falling out, attempted to sell my student rank, just didn't like the direction things were going, so I was out. Then what I did was I went to Okinawa, and then I met Gaki Yoshiaki Sensei, and initially I was part of the Hanbu there, and then he left and started his own association for whatever reason. He was my teacher, so I went with his association. Now, his association was yearly dues, and that's fine because most of them are yearly dues, right? He never gave me a hard time. I'd start collecting the dues in December, January. By the time I got them from all the students, it might sometimes not be till March, so they were late, but, never complained, never asked me, where are your dues, right? I would send an email saying that I promoted these students to black belt, and I would sending the money the next week, and within 5 days, the certificates would come. I hadn't even sent the money yet, and he'd already sent the certificates. So obviously, money not a big driver with Gakiya Sensei either. Sadly, Gakiya Sensei had health issues. He had to retire from the martial arts, pass the association on to someone else. I stayed in the association briefly, but then with some changes, different things, getting phone calls, why aren't your memberships in? Why isn't this done? Okay, now we're going to do stuff like this. I was out, okay? And again, me leaving didn't affect the association. That association is doing quite well. But one of the things I always look at when I'm asked to join an association or I think about joining an association is what benefit am I getting out of it? And what benefit are the students getting out of it? And I don't think a lot of people that head up associations realize that, people are paying these yearly dues to be a member of something, all right? But what are they getting for those yearly dues? I don't know. What are they getting for those yearly dues? I'm a member of the United States Concealed Carry Association. My yearly dues entitle me to self-defense insurance. That's a big deal. So I'm actually getting something for those dues. The other things, too, gives me discounts if I attend a USCCA event, gives me discounts in their store, gives me, training videos you can go watch. So you're getting money for that yearly thing. But for me, the biggest thing is that insurance. That's my main reason for being a member of that association. If you're in an association, there's really not a lot going on with it. Again, like with Gakiya Sensei's association, I was happy to pay that $35 a year. All the students were too. We would see Gakiya Sensei, once a year, once every other year for training. So we felt it was good, and we enjoyed it. But again, when it transferred hands, things changed a little bit. And again, that person has the right to run the association any way he wants because now it's his association. But one of the things that I've found a little kind of, I don't want to use the term disturbing, but a little different is, when let's say you have 500 members. Okay. And those 500 members are paying $35 every January. Do the math. It's a substantial amount of money. So now the problem is if you're not careful, you begin to rely on that money. So that money now becomes a thing. So now when person's late with their dues, you're calling them up on the phone. Hey, where's your dues? It's February. Dues are due in January. Okay, right? Again, what's my benefit? Getting promoted? Okay, you can get promoted anywhere. So getting promoted is not a big deal. It's not all that difficult. If that's your goal to just get a certificate, okay, you can go tons of places, pay money, they'll give you a certificate, okay? Tons of associations do that, all right? So again, I just think there's a problem with that being incentivized, where every January or every July, whenever those dues are due, you're counting on that money coming in. So again, what's the association about? Is it about making money for the person that runs the association, or is it about transferring knowledge and giving knowledge and helping people get better in whatever martial art they're doing? That's something I always question. In the last few years, I've been asked to join a couple of different associations. One, I was asked to join to be a senior advisor for Ishinru because they didn't have any senior dons in Ishinru. Didn't cost me anything. So I said, sure, I'll be happy to help you guys out. Not one person from that association has ever contacted me about helping them in Ishinru or seeking any advice in Ishinru. And that's okay, because again, it didn't cost me anything to join that association. I don't know if they wanted my name on their whatever. Okay. I don't know that my name means that much, but if that's what they wanted, okay. I'm also a member in the Mariyoshi group of the Okinawan Kabuto Kozoku-kai. Kozoku-kai means family. So it's pretty much about training. I'm not even sure the fee structure for that. I'm not even sure what the yearly dues are or how that works. I have to explore that a little further, even though I'm a member, okay? And I'm the rep in the United States. I tested twice through the All Japan Kendo Federation, Jodo division in Japan. So obviously I paid fees. I don't remember if I paid a fee to join the association. I might have paid a fee when I did that to also test. And obviously there was a test fee. So again, my problem with certain martial arts associations is what's the motivation? My whole thing is about the training. I want to train. I want to get better. And I don't necessarily expect the person that runs the association that they have to be the greatest martial artist in the world. If they're running an association, okay, that's one of the things they're trying to do. And that's great. But there should be some type of benefit to the members. And, that benefit can come in a lot of ways. Maybe you produce a yearly newsletter. Okay. Maybe you offer discounted Zoom classes. Just an idea, okay? Maybe you offer a Zoom seminar to your members once every 3 months, okay? These are all, I think, viable ideas that associations could do, all right? I think, again, what's the purpose of the association? So in the martial arts, I'd say the purpose of the association, whatever art that association represents, if it's not an umbrella association, should be to promote and preserve that particular art. That's what its function should be. So if that's not what it's doing, if its main function is making money for the person that runs the association, you got to take a step back. I've seen with certain associations where, let's just say, their promotion standards don't seem to be very high. Again, do the math. I promote 10 people every 3 months. And depending on what ranks they're getting promoted to, I know for a fact a lot of places charge like $300 to $400 for Shodan. Okay, so now if you've got 10 people paying $300, okay, that's $3,000. That pays for a trip to Okinawa. Oh, and then all of a sudden, another 6 months later, there's another group getting promoted. Oh, that pays for another trip somewhere else. So again, what's the benefit you're getting out of the association? Whenever I pay to be a member of an Okinawan association, I'm not going to lie to you. One of the reasons I like it is it's the romantic notion of me being linked to Okinawa. That's what I like about it. I like the fact that I'm in the Headmasters Association in Ishinru. He was appointed the headmaster by his father. Now I'm in that association. I want to preserve that association. It's the oldest Ishinru association. Okay? Same thing. When Gakiya Sensei started his association, I wanted to be in it. I wanted to support it because I wanted to support my teacher. He was teaching me a lot of great things that I was really enjoying learning. When I'd go to Okinawa, he'd take the time to teach me and work with me. So it was great. All right. So I wanted to help that. So I don't mind paying yearly dues if it's to support something that I strongly believe in. But again, if I don't strongly believe in something, why am I going to pay? What's the benefit I'm getting out of it? I just think you need to take a step back and, look at your own motivations. Well, why do I stay in a certain association, right? Am I staying there because it's easy to get promoted? I don't know. You have to decide for yourself what that is. I don't know. I'm not aware what a lot of associations are charging. I know some associations would like to attach their name to maybe a seminar you do, and they want you to try to get members for that association. Again, my question is, well, what's the benefit? Well, they're in this organization. Okay, but again, what's the benefit? And a lot of times I can't get that answer. I don't get that answer. Okay, right. So, I don't have an association. So years ago I had a jiu-jitsu association. And the problem was I had to run an association. I don't want to run an association. I don't want to take the time to run an association. I don't need the aggravation. I wasn't chasing people for dues. I just didn't want to do it. It's as simple as that. So I let the association just die, right? I just let it go out. So what I like to say is I have students. So you train with me, sure. You come out to Arizona, you stay with me, we have a fee, right? If you stay with us, there's a certain fee. We provide meals for you, housing, the whole 9 yards, and we train as much as you want, right? If you're just my student, though, right, like my students in New York, okay, I don't charge them anything to be my students. I don't have an association. So when I go back to New York, if they bring me in for a seminar, of course I get paid for the seminar. But again, they don't have to do that. If they decide they don't want to bring me in for a seminar anymore, well, they don't bring me anymore, Same thing. I have students all over the country. I have students in other parts of the world. I don't charge them to be my student. Again, if they want to do Zoom classes with me, obviously I charge them for a Zoom class. But I'm training them. They're getting something from it, okay? Again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think an association should provide something, especially if you're paying dues every year. If you're paying dues every year, what's that association providing, right? Now, I know in Okinawa, there are rules when you set up your association. I'm not 100% clear on those rules, but I know when Gakia set up his, he had to have a pretty serious bylaws and everything laid right out, which he had translated into English. So I don't know if, the government's involved in that. Here in the States, you don't have to do any of that. You could just create a name and start an association and start collecting dues, and people want to join it, they can join it, and that's it. All right. But again, I think martial arts associations need to take a step back and think more about what they're providing for the students. So for instance, let's say you're running your own association, or maybe your teacher in Okinawa is running an association, and you pay yearly dues. And, maybe you say to the teacher from Okinawa, hey, what about if once a year you do an online seminar for a reduced rate for members of the association, right? Or even better, do one for free, and then if you want to charge for another one, fine, but give them something for that membership. People will appreciate that. So I think it's something martial arts associations need to start looking at. Same thing. I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. So I took the plunge. I forget what I paid, right? But lifetime member. So I don't have to send any more dues. I get benefits from that. I get a magazine. All right. I think it's bi-monthly. I get the magazine. There's things I can look up through the NRA. I get discounts on things I purchase. I can purchase through my NRA membership. There's all kinds of things you get. That's something I think, martial arts associations need to start thinking about more. Well, what exactly are we providing for our members? And look, I'm sure a lot of you out there that are watching this have your own associations, and I'm probably pissing a whole bunch of you off right now. Okay. Just to be clear, I don't care, right? Because again, the name of the podcast is The Martial Truth. And, people don't like to say things because they don't want to ruffle feathers, all right? But we have to be honest about certain things, okay? I could tell you stories of Isshinryu Sensei, famous Isshinryu Sensei, who were charging their students $1,000 for Shodan and telling them that that's what Master Shimabuku was charging them. And then that unscrupulous individual didn't send the memberships to Okinawa. Okay. So at the time when this took place, Master Shimabuku was charging $75 for Shodan. So he took the $1,000, pocketed it, never sent the $75 to Okinawa to get the certificate for the student. So then I meet the student and the student's teacher, and they're telling me this, and I look at them and I have to break the news to them that, that's not what he charges. That's when I added the prices on the IWKA website. So now those unscrupulous sensei couldn't bullshit their students and tell them that Master Shimabuku charges $1,000 or $500, and they're pocketing all this money, and then a lot of them aren't even sending to Okinawa to get the certificates. There was a guy in India, right? Passed away recently. Had been placed under house arrest for forgery. Claimed he was an 8th Dan. He only made Shodan under Master Shimabuku. Promoted 20,000 people to black belt in India. Over 20,000 people. Charged them lots of money. Gave them a very nice certificate. The certificate's beautiful, right? Charged them a lot of money. Told them they were all registered with Okinawa. Never sent a dime to Okinawa. Pocketed all the money. And there's still people in India that revere this moron piece of garbage that ripped them all off. Okay? They still revere him. Oh, you see them, especially now that he's dead. Now they want to put him on the sainthood pedestal, right? But meanwhile, he's a fraud and a piece of garbage, right? Ripping everybody off. So you want to be careful about who you associate with. You want to, maybe ask, well, what's the benefit to me for joining this association? Like with the IWKA, you pay lifetime. And basically what you're doing is you're supporting the Hanbu Dojo where Isshinryu, began. You're supporting the Shimabuku family. And, I think it's $35 a year now, something like that. $35 lifetime membership. So you pay that once, you never pay it again. I don't mind that because I'm only paying it once. And then if, you stick around 4 or 5 years and you make Shodan, okay, I promote you to Shodan. Now I say, hey, do you want me to send to Okinawa for your black belt certificate? Just to be clear, no one has never, ever told me no. Everybody wants their black belt certificate from Okinawa. You'd be amazed at how many people contact me every month about coming in the IWKA and getting their black belt from Master Shimabuku. Okay? I don't just send for people's black belts. Minimum, I want to see them on video. And after I see them on video, I usually want to do some Zoom with them to fix some things. And when I feel they're at a certain point, and look, if they're training a long time in Isshinryu, I can't fault them for the mistakes they're making if their instructor didn't correct them. But if I'm sending for your black belt, I'm not just going to send for it. I expect you to be at a certain level. It's as simple as that. All right. So yeah, martial arts associations. I'm a member of a few of them, and I've been a member of a whole bunch of them in my life, all right? But, we've talked about it, me and my black belts, like, what's the benefit of certain associations? What are we getting out of it, I just think the people that head the associations need to think about this and need to maybe think about offering a little bit more for their students and for the members of their associations, all right? Hope you enjoyed this. I'm sure it ruffled some feathers. What can I tell you? That's the way it is. All right. Feel free to comment. Feel free to contact me. If you liked it, click that like, share, subscribe button. Again, I mentioned if you want If you're interested in these Ishinru patches, I'm the one that created this design. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll help you get some of those. All right, I'm closing my eBay store. eBay's just become a big ripoff. All right, so again, I'll see you in the next podcast. Take care.